Hi, good evening. My name is Venkatraman and I'm the Chief Running Evangelist of You Too Can Run. Our mission is to promote running for good health. And we do a lot of things in connection with doing that. One of the initiatives that we have is that we have come out with a trainer's logbook. This trainer's logbook contains several sections and they distill the best practices of maintaining a log, pre-screening, risk evaluation, and also monitoring the progress of the training over a period of time. The intention of the logbook is that each trainer must buy one logbook per trainee per year, and it's priced very reasonably at 50 rupees. We don't make any profit on this at all, I can assure you that. But the idea is that best practices in terms of logs must be out there for the trainees. So in this webinar series, what we do is that I take up each section of this logbook and I explain that in greater detail so that the trainer or the trainee can get a better sense of what each of these sections mean. And I can also have an interaction with you if you desire to ask me more questions on this. Today's topic is on fitness goals. It is the last topic in the initial screening section. Section B contains initial screening, and then we have fitness goals. So the questions that are there in the fitness goals are just three questions. They read, what are your fitness goals generally in the next 3 months, in the next 6 months, in a year, dream goal? What are your barriers to achieving these goals? And question number two. And question number three is, how much changes are you willing to make to achieve these goals? So those are the three questions. As questions go, they are simple and they are not much. But what do we need to, as trainers, what do we need to bear in mind before we elicit the correct answer from the training? So what are the fitness goals generally? 3 months, 6 months, in a year, dream goal. This is something that the trainee has to state for himself. But it doesn't mean that the trainer has to accept it. Ultimately, this section should be filled up and accepted by the trainer, because the trainee may have very wild and unreasonable goals, but doesn't mean that the trainer can deliver them. Some of them may be physically impossible. It all depends upon where the trainee is, where the goal is, how much time they have got in between, and what all efforts they are willing to take. So it's like a gap analysis of achievement. So in the first 3 months, in the next 3 months, generally the fitness goal should be around behavior modification, around ironing out logistics that are there in being regular, about being regular, and simple goals that would be more education oriented. Within 3 months, I mean, personally, I'm very much against crash diets because I think they don't work. So in 3 months, if somebody came to me and said, I want to lose 10 kgs or 20 pounds, I would say no, that's not possible. Even if somebody wanted to lose and something accelerate, I would say that what is reasonable is just 1 kg a month, knowing all the issues that go around weight loss. And even if you can hold that, that is a very good beginning. But in the first 3 months, even that may not be possible. So in the first 3 months, the goals should be generally around education, behavior modification, ironing out logistics, being regular, knowing why one is doing this, and basically laying down the path for a lifetime of good health. That should be what 3 months should be. 6 months can be slightly better. Here you can quantify something. You can, say things like, improve flexibility, or maybe run a short distance, maybe a 5K distance. Things like that, those kind of goals can kick in. Some weight loss goals can also be considered if the modification goes on correctly. So that is what the 6 months goal should be. A year is a longer period. There can be a lot of changes brought about in a year. flexibility, range of motion, agility, proprioception, sense of balance, flexibility, if I have not mentioned it, cleaning the diet, eating healthy, sleeping healthy, consuming enough water. All this can take about 1 year in a very sedentary individual, because all these are step changes and each small change leads to another change, and you can't do too much of change at the same time. So one has to be careful, and one has to take the trainee in a very slow but gradual path towards recovering good health. At 1 year, yes, there can be something quite tangible that can be put on as a goal. It could be things like lose weight for my daughter's wedding, or something like that, and then that can be very well articulated. The last is of course the dream goal, which is to be Arnold Schwarzenegger or somebody like that. But that's or Hrithik Roshan, or Shah Rukh Khan with the six pack abs, or any one of those figures that they might have. So that could be the dream goal, and that dream goal needs to be initiated and written down, because that is what one would always be working towards, and that dream goal needs to be also put down on paper and discussed, and whether it's possible or not possible is something that the trainer and the trainee have to decide. So those are the goals, those are the fitness goals that somebody can write down even a time period. What are your barriers to achieving these goals? The next question. This is very important, because most trainees uh, have wild dreams, but they are not aware of the barriers that exist in their lives. So this question basically tells them to explore the barriers that they are having in their lives to achieving the fitness goals. So that is the purpose of this. The trainee must sit down and he must think for himself what are the barriers. For example, one barrier can be too much travel. Okay, busy job, too much travel. Another barrier can be sick mother-in-law in the house, needs to take care, small children, husband who travels. Okay, that can be another thing. Education, somebody's doing courses, somebody's having a shift job, maybe working in a BPO, irregular timings, high pressure, or this. Maybe somebody's in a sales job which is very high pressure. Those can be barriers. Sometimes habits can be barriers. So stopping smoking is essential, and that can be a barrier to good health, because a guy can't just kick the habit. Or consuming alcohol, or a craving for chocolate, or sweets. Those can be barriers. It is necessary for the trainee to sit down and think this through, and write down what are the barriers, so that the trainer can work with the trainee on overcoming those barriers. Not everything can have a solution, but at least if it is brought out and stated, then one can work towards a solution. So that is the purpose of this second point. The third is very critical. How much changes are you willing to make to achieve those goals? So here, uh, this is where the rubber meets the road, as they say. We are asking him, okay, you know your barriers, you know your dream goal. Now, how much changes are you willing to make? Because there is a very nice quote that I remember, which came around last year, which said that, "Oh, happy New Year, whatever," and nothing is going to change in the next year unless you make changes yourself. So that is a fact. I mean, one has to be the change that one desires to see, and as Gandhiji said it. So the question of how much willingness is there to make those changes is something that needs to be addressed, and something that needs to be questioned. So those are the three broad questions on fitness goals, and basically it gives a sense of what direction that training needs to take, and it's something that the trainer and the trainee kind of agree and sign off on as something that is possible and that is capable of being done. So that's it for today, and there will be a link where you can go and buy this book in the video. If you are online and if you are viewing this webinar online, then you can type your questions, and I can see them appear on this monitor on the left, and I can reply back in person. If you're watching this in the YouTube recorded version, then you can type down in the comments and we receive notifications and we will come back and respond back to you. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for spending this part of the day with us. Bye.